Jack Daniels at the Boxers Trainers Channel, and today rather, we got a hot topic. I mean, this is smoking, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Yesterday, first of all, good morning again, right? And it's a nice day, but it is extremely cold. But it being cold comes with the territory of being able to wake up to another day. You've been blessed. We've been blessed. Whoever's listening to this podcast all over the world, right? Consider yourself being blessed that the Creator allowed you to wake up to another day. And specifically to hear me talk about some boxing, something that I really, really, really adore, something that I really, really love doing. And that's talking about some boxing, man. Because you know what I'm saying, back when I was a young, wow, cat, I used to be like, bam, bop, 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 boom. I used to throw these things, man. And I sometimes at my age, you know what I'm saying, at 75, right, I still wonder, do I have it? You know what I mean? Do I still have um the desire? Well, the desire is there, right? Do I still have the movement, right, applicable to being able to stop somebody, to be able to catch a punch, to be able to throw a stiff jab, to be able to throw a left hook? Do I still have it, right? And I'm quite sure there's a lot of boxers in the game today that have that thought process, right? And I know particularly one that has questioned that via the internet, has literally put himself in a position where he said on a live mic, do I still have it? Quite naturally, y'all know who I'm talking about, right? We talking about none other than the former undisputed, no, he was actually the unified lightweight champion of the world. The undisputed was always in question, right? And that is none other than Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is a two-division world champion, lightweight, unified, and junior welterweight world champion. World champion. Teofimo Lopez is a world champion, right, in two divisions. Now, that being said, it was said by Teofimo Lopez on a hot mic, do I still have it? Now, I say that to say this. If you have the impression of yourself in the sense that you question the validity of whether you still have it or not, something is going on in your psyche that needs to have some attention, in my opinion, right? And I believe after listening to Teofimo Lopez yesterday on the Boxing Voice, shout out to the Boxing Voice, right? They did an interview with Teofimo Lopez, and I had came away with the opinion that Teofimo Lopez needs, in my opinion, based on him being all over the board when it came to questions asked of him, right? His responses was that he was all over the board, right? I mean, it was just like most of the stuff that he said was totally crazy. And I took the liberty to drop a note in the comment section to Ness while he was doing the interview. And I said, Teofimo Lopez is crazy. Because that's the way Teofimo Lopez sounded to me. You know, it was the sister, I mean, shout out again to Ness, because Ness was trying to be compassionate, right, in regards to some of the things that Teofimo Lopez was saying, right? I mean, because they were literally crazy. I mean, Ness was getting comments, and I read the comments, and the comments was like, "Damn, Ness, I mean, you know what I mean? Asking the good question, the hard questions, right?" But I understood where Ness was coming from because everything that Ness asked of Teofimo Lopez literally said something astoundingly crazy. I mean, it was like Ness was in a position where he didn't want to rile Teofimo Lopez, so he kind of like held back. You know, and I get it, right? You have to be a professional in what you do in the broadcasting scheme of things to be able to deal with different personalities. And I will say that Ness handled Teofimo Lopez excellently, right? Contrary to the fact that Teofimo Lopez, right, was just, I don't know, his response was like, I'm talking about ludicrous. I'm like, where did that come from? Where are these responses coming from? They went on a litany of different subjects, right? And each time Teofimo said something that was contrary to what was asked of him, he never got never got a definitive explanation from Teofimo Lopez. So I was like, damn. And the topic went on about, I want to say like 10 minutes before Teofimo Lopez had to get up out of there. You know what I mean? And like, because Teofimo Lopez is acting a little strange of late, I am of the opinion that Teofimo Lopez might be on some type of foreign substance, like a narcotic or a pill or whatever. I don't know what it is, right? But a professional boxer, a professional athlete, right, does not constantly put him in this position, put the fan base especially in a position where they're questioning the validity of his thought process. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like the comments again that I read on the Boxing Voice was questioning the sanctity and the validity of Teofimo Lopez's thought process, right? And it goes all the way back to the question that Teofimo Lopez was asking his father, right after the Cambosos fight, and that was, quote unquote, do I still have it, right? And that's like, dang, you don't know if you still have the compunction to be good or to seek for greatness. You don't know, right? And now, if you don't know, then quite naturally you are not going to be your boxing skills, your boxing style is not going to coincide with your thought process. If you're questioning your validity of your thought process, how in the heck can you get in the ring and continue to be, as they say, great? This is what the boxer disposition is. He wants to be great. He wants to go into his career and come out of it being great, right? His legacy. You know what I mean? He wants to have a great legacy. Now, listen, this is a live chat, so if you want to call in, do so. And I hope you don't, because I didn't bring the phone. But if you do, what I'm going to do, because there is Avery Bowles in the house. Shout out to Avery Bowles. And if somebody happens to call, you have to note it on the screen, and I'm gonna have to get up and go get the phone, right? But it's not a big thing. I would love to have a conversation about this subject, especially about Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez has notably ducked the last 4 to 5 opponents, right? And everybody in the category of boxers at the upper echelon of things, right? Teofimo Lopez has ducked. And I'm going to give you an analogy on what I think is consistent with what I've been saying about Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez ducked formerly undisputed lightweight, first time undisputed lightweight champion of the world in the 4-belt era, Devin the Dream Haney. He ducked Devin Dream Haney. Now, he tried to switch it around and said no, he wanted to fight Devin Haney, and he had a conversation with Top Rank, and Top Rank is not the promoter that would give a definitive payout to promote this fight. And the other fight, I've constantly said I believe that Top Rank is one of the cheaper promoters in the game, right? And I'm not hating on Bob Arum and Top Rank. I'm just saying, man, there's too much verbiage about the way Top Rank pays their boxers. Now, here's the thing about Teofimo Lopez. Now, I would be a little out of sorts if I was Teofimo Lopez, also because Teofimo Lopez, in his analysis, said on a hot mic that he has not made $1 million since he's been up under the umbrella of Top Rank. And the man was unified lightweight champion of the world, right? He took the belt from Vasily Lomachenko. He took the unified belt from Vasily Lomachenko. And there was a question mark whether he was undisputed. And the question mark leaned towards he wasn't, because at that particular time, before Devin Haney became the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Devin Haney had the WBC belt. So it was totally impossible for Teofimo Lopez to claim that he was, in fact, the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, right? Now, there was another belt involved that constantly threw a shadow over the fact that he was or he wasn't the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. And that was this belt that they drummed up, the WBC. I can't recall the name of that belt, but it put the boxer that solicited for that belt in a position where he could duck, or he didn't have to fight the challenges associated with his mandatory, right? I don't recall the name of that belt, and that belt hasn't been used since. Who's the last person who used that belt? The last person who used that belt was Saul Canelo Alvarez. Saul Canelo Alvarez was the last one to use that belt. And Devin Haney had that belt, but he never used it, right? In fact, he talked down about that belt. And that was the scenario surrounding why Teofimo Lopez was never the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. So, back to the topic, right? So, Teofimo Lopez ducked Devin Haney. Teofimo Lopez ducked Brian Norman Jr., right? Now, let the record reflect that I want you guys to know that if that fight would have been made, Teofimo Lopez would have had to go up to 147, because the belt in question that Brian Norman holds is for the welterweight championship of the world, right? What is that? Is that the WBO? I believe it's the WBO. I could be wrong about that, people. But Brian Norman Jr. has a belt to date. Might have been WBA. I'm not sure. But here's the deal. Teofimo Lopez turned that fight down. Teofimo Lopez also turned down the fight with, as I said, Devin Haney, Brian Norman. There was one more that I posted. I know I didn't post this one, but he also ducked Keyshawn Davis, right? It was multiple people that I would have loved to shout out to Law Dog Patterson, my amazing son-in-law. I would have liked to have seen him fight, because there was always a lot of noise made about him fighting Devin Haney. That fight was supposed to be made once before. Teofimo Lopez, I will say, did attempt to make that fight through Top Rank, but the Haneys, and I understand why, because I noted on the record that Bob Arum and Top Rank are cheapskates, right? So the Haneys, knowing them as I do, will not deal with Top Rank. The fight was offered before by Turkey Al-Sheikh, right? And Turkey Al-Sheikh offered Teofimo Lopez the opportunity to fight Devin Haney at an amazing purse, right? The purse that Teofimo Lopez offered, that Turkey Al-Sheikh offered would have been the biggest payday of Teofimo Lopez's career. Teofimo Lopez has not made an astounding amount of money since he's been boxing, and I find it to be crazy, right? I mean, the man is a 2-division world champion, and you haven't made $1 million. Something is wrong with his promotional team, his management team, and I think that what he's trying to do, which is get out of his contract with Top Rank, he should have been done it. Actually, he did that once before, right? He pulled the same trick once before, but he left, if I'm not mistaken, he left and came back, right? And his father said he should have never left Top Rank. They should have never left Top Rank. But here we go again. The same thing is transpired again. And Teofimo Lopez is still stuck in the mud because he can't get a fight. Bob Arum is to the point where I think they're negotiating Teofimo Lopez being in a position where he can get out of his contract. And I will say that would be something that a whole lot of boxers need to do as far as Bob Arum is concerned. Bob Arum, again, is a cheapskate. Nothing personal, Bob. I like Bob. I like the term that Bob uses. People are schmucks, right? I like that term, right? So, but here's the deal. I think that in a realization of boxing, you got to get paid for your services rendered. Teofimo Lopez is not getting paid for his services rendered. So, yeah. Shout out to Law Patterson. Law Patterson says, "quote unquote," he hopes that fight happens sometime down the road. I do too. That would be a great fight, right? These guys got a lot of history, and I think it's safe to say that Devin Haney has been chasing Teofimo Lopez to get in the ring for over 5 years that I know about, right? But Teofimo Lopez, as always, finds a justification for why he's not fighting any of these guys at the top tier level. As that being said, people, I need for y'all to hit that subscription button, man. Hit the like button. And drop a comment in the comment section and tell me whether y'all think Teofimo Lopez is a duck or not. That being said, share my videos with your friends, really. I gotta go. Later.